back to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. D-Style here, this post-fight reaction. Triple G versus Rose. Knockout victory by Triple G. Remember to jab that like button if you're listening on archive. Subscribe and hit that bell button if you're already subscribed, so you're notified every time D-Style comes on live. Ladies and gentlemen, Triple G just knocked out Rose, and I'm currently joined by the one and only Haplotype. Haplotype, you there?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely. Give me your thoughts, man. I mean, people heard enough from me already. Well, what do you think of the fight?
I thought you did a good job calling it. I wish I could have joined you. I guess we were having some technical difficulties with the hangout and all that. But we'll work all that out for next time. I thought it was an okay fight. I mean, the opponent was so-so. I heard, one of the commentators on DAZN afterwards say something like, Triple G just sent a message to Canelo. I'm like, really? Did he send a message to Canelo? I don't think he sent a message to Canelo. He looked like, to me, the same old Triple G, just another little bit older and still slow. Of course, it's always fun to see him knock somebody out. I thought the other guy did some good work in there and had him, the other guy had him, working more than some other opponents did, but it just seemed like it was inevitable that Triple G would get the knockout, and then he used that patented Maidana downer cut. I can't remember for the life of me who came up with that. I wish I could give the person credit who actually coined that phrase, but it was definitely a YouTuber. I actually thought it was you that came up with the term downer cut, but obviously it wasn't.
No,
you were saying that you hadn't heard it before. So
I called it an overhand left, and I paused for a second. I was like, "This guy's orthodox. What am I talking about?" But yeah,
it's when they throw the overhand right so far over the top that it comes down and hits the person on the top of the head, which is a legal punch.
Yep,
a legal, not illegal punch. Anything that's not on the back of the head is legal. So yeah, that's a good punch. I've never actually tried it myself in sparring or anything, but if someone's got a great guard, like a Winky Wright type guard, I'd be inclined to try that. But it was a hard one. I mean, the one that put him down was really hard, and he tried to get up valiantly, but it just wasn't going to work out. I didn't like the fact that the ref got to 9 and said no more. I thought he should have counted to 10. I hate when they don't count all the way to 10. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're out. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're out. But he wasn't going to be up by 10 anyway. He was falling through the ropes and stuff. Hopefully that guy's okay. And it was a decent night of fights. It was definitely not a stellar card, but it was okay. Compared to our last conversation on that historic night of Ruiz versus AJ, it was, sort of anticlimactic compared to that, but it was still, an interesting night of fights.
I agree, man. I mean, that was crazy. As far as I like the first fight. I like the first fight that happened, but overall, this fight kind of went how I expected. I mean, I kind of knew Triple G was setting something up with that left hand. He was probing it a lot. He was just kind of throwing it out there, but nothing with authority. And then he kind of obviously did something with his left. But what I want to ask is, you think that downer cut, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, was by design? You think that was something he planned to do?
I don't know if he planned to do it, but I know that he got the idea earlier because I saw him try it a couple times before he landed that big one that put the guy out.
Yeah, he definitely put Rose out with that, yeah.
Yeah, I think Maidana actually, when he used it, that he had it planned. But Triple G, I think, just did it out of necessity. The guy had a good arm. Anybody who's got long forearms has a good advantage in defense in boxing. And this guy was using it well. It forced Triple G to go to the body, throw some nice hooks around the elbows to the sides. It forced him to use that downer cut eventually. But I think he was in there problem solving, and that's why he threw the downer cut. Now, if the guy hadn't given him so much time to think, you know, maybe he wouldn't have been able to come up with that, you know. But the guy would, you know, throw flurries and then sort of just stand in the pocket, which is not a good idea against Triple G.
So, Haplo, I don't know if you could see the chat or not, but Boxing Dialogue is asking, Haplo, was it Thunderdome that came up with that term?
It could be. I haven't heard any Thunderdome stuff in a long time.
Yeah.
It could be, but there was someone who really did take credit for it. It was like, you know, he was the first one to say it. If it was Thunderdome, then credit to him, but I'm not sure. I can't remember right now.
Also, Boxing Dialogue asked, just in general says, I've heard that Triple G and Canelo 3 will be in Mexico City. You think that's a possibility?
Triple G and Canelo 3 in Mexico City. Why not? I mean, you know, obviously Canelo holds all the cards in that deck at this point.
Right.
Based on the outcomes of the first two fights and how big of a star he is and how bad he made Triple G look, even though that was a weird fight because it was a close fight. But the fact that Canelo didn't back away from Triple G and wasn't showing respect for his power made it interesting to me because, you know, even though it was close, it was still a little bit humiliating for Triple G that he was able to do that. So to me, wherever Canelo wants it to be, that's where it's going to be. He's got the big contract from DAZN. Triple G signed with DAZN. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess they're just throwing money at these guys, and you know they basically have no other really option other than to just take it until the whole house of cards collapses. But yeah, I mean that's possible. Anywhere, Mexico, LA, anywhere like that, wherever Canelo feels most comfortable.
A couple more comments here. I like your thoughts on these. Chicano Prophet says, I like that Rhodes wasn't there just to lay down. Fun fight to watch. It looks like they're already setting up Canelo trilogy. AJ10 says Triple G looked older. And Dominic Brown follows up with Steve Rhodes hit Triple G even when loading up and telegraphing shots. Triple G can't keep taking these kind of shots. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, there was a few there.
Well, it's all about Canelo, just in general. Triple G looking older, getting hit by telegraph shots.
That they're setting up the Canelo fight. I mean, what other recourse does DAZN have? They need that fight. They need that fight. They thought they were getting that Wilder-Joshua fight. And I think they were banking on that. And that is sort of out the window, at least for right now. Triple G versus Canelo 3, for sure they're setting that up. I don't know if I guess you weren't listening to the commentary. I was listening to you in one ear and them in the other, and they kept mentioning Canelo throughout the whole thing. So yes, for sure they are setting up that Canelo. They have no other way to go. I mean, they need that bad to continue their business model. And I don't know. Did I miss anyone?
Look, I got to tell you, man, I don't. With the action in a boxing fight, I don't know how anybody has time to bring up other fighters. You know, like.
Well, at the very end, when the guy didn't get up, the guy's like, "And Triple G sends a message to Canelo." Like, really? I mean, is that really a message?
You already fought him 2 times, bro. Like,
yeah. I mean, personally, I thought in those 2 fights they had the wrong decision. I thought Triple G won the first fight, and I thought the second fight was either a draw or Canelo.
Yeah.
So, but it goes down as a draw and a win for Canelo.
Right.
So, obviously they're trying to bank on Canelo's stardom to, give a breath of life into DAZN, because DAZN, I think, inevitably will either have to be sold to a bigger company or it will just crumble.
Even though Triple G dominated this fight, let me take that back. It was a little competitive, but it was clear he was winning. Aside from, I think the second round was the most competitive round. But did you ever have a doubt in your mind that Triple G was going to win this fight?
There were a few seconds there where I felt like the opponent was getting some good shots in, but I think the whole point of the fight was for Triple G to get some time in there and get his confidence back up after, a long period of nothing.
Right. What do you think about the fights being at the Garden, man, in back-to-back weeks?
I think it's great. For quite a while now, Madison Square Garden has been largely ignored as the mecca of boxing that it used to be. I even think, for a time there, the Barclays Center in Brooklyn had surpassed it in that area, in that New York area, as being the premier boxing venue. But it's nice for me to see. I'm a history fan. You know me. I like history, and to see fights in Madison Square Garden, is always a thrill for me. And I'm glad that they're doing more of it. It was nice, especially last week, to see Ruiz versus AJ, a big heavyweight title fight in the Madison Square Garden, and it kind of brought me back to thinking about fights like Carnera versus Max Baer that were also in Madison Square Garden,
right,
and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they're doing that.
Ali Frazier,
Ali Frazier. I mean, all those historic heavyweight fights, and so many.
And look, I love the Barclays Center, and I've never been there in person, but looking at it on television, it looks like a beautiful arena. But I don't think anything will ever match just the magic of Madison Square Garden.
Well, as long as they keep it going, I think really, for a time there, it really lost some ground as being the mecca of boxing, especially during the Floyd era. I think the MGM in Las Vegas.
Well, even De La Hoya.
The mecca of boxing, yeah, De La Hoya.
Like, I mean, not to cut you off, but I think as soon as Vegas started hosting fights, that's kind of when the beginning of the end of the mecca of boxing was,
Yeah, but you still would have fights there for the most part until sort of we got into the Floyd and Manny Pacquiao era. Definitely, Vegas had Caesar's Palace for a while, was the mecca of boxing.
MGM, Mandalay Bay.
MGM.
I don't think De La Hoya ever fought in Madison Square Garden.
Well, he's responsible for taking a little bit of the luster away from Madison Square Garden then, because he was definitely the premier star for a few years there.
Yeah, I remember some interviews in De La Hoya always saying that I forgot who fought at the Garden, but he said after this fighter fought at the Garden, I'm trying to remember who it was, but he said something like, "Well, now it's time for him to fight it at the MGM Grand, because that's where all the big fights are." Like he said something like that to that effect.
Yeah, from his perspective, I could see where he would think that, but a lot of these fighters, don't know the real history of, a lot of boxing. I mean, some of them do and some of them don't.
But you know what? I mean, New York stand up, man. I love New York crowds, man. I really do. I mean, they're much better than the Vegas crowds. It's just, they're louder. They're more into the fights.
Great crowd here in LA for that Tyson Fury versus Wilder fight.
Right.
I was there. Mr. Boxing Today was there. I mean, that was an electric atmosphere, and I'd like to see more fights in LA. I think because most of the fighters, the great fighters right now are, of Latin descent and Mexican, everything that, we can have more fights out here. Bottom line is, like, the more big fights they have anywhere, I'm going to be more happy. If it's Barclays Center or Madison Square Garden, especially Madison Square Garden, though, because that has so much history and I want to see that continue. But, outside of that, like, anywhere where they have a big fight, I think is good for the sport, and I'm willing to support it.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously, LA is definitely a powerhouse when it comes to crowds. You know what I mean? For sure. No doubt about that.
I was a little disappointed that, like, certain channels came on here after that and said, like, it was empty in there, because I was there and it was not empty. There were some few, like, really nosebleed sections that had some empty seats, but that was about it.
Yeah, people will say what they say, you know what I mean? But what are you going to do?
I have pictures to prove that.
Yeah. Did you get to watch the other two fights on the main card?
No, I only watched the fight right before the main event and then the main event. I have a lot going on. There's a situation with I had a death in the family, and now there's a person who's close to the family who's in the process of dying right now. So,
sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. It's been a bummer. It's been a tough couple days. But I don't want to take anything away from anyone else's good night, and I hope everyone's enjoying it.
Well, definitely, we wish you the best, obviously, man. I hope everything works out, everything goes good for you. Want to thank you for taking time, coming on here. We made it work somehow, right? Speaker, old school.
The old-fashioned way.
What's that?
I said the old-fashioned way. Speaker.
The old-fashioned way. We used to do this shit all the time on YouTube back in the day. Just come on here and get speakerphone. That's how me and Joe Habib started doing collabs. We were one of the first to do collabs. A lot of people don't remember that, but
I remember when you guys did phone conversations. I remember when you guys started doing Uvu, and all the different ways that you guys would do it. I enjoyed all.
Man, I give credit where it's due, man. Carcino's the one that started that Uvu stuff, and everybody's kind of caught on to it.
Yeah, Uvu wasn't bad. It worked for the time.
It was a good start. I mean, that's what started the face-to-face, before obviously Hangouts is superior, in my opinion. That kind of did away with Uvu. But
yeah, because it's built in.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember one in particular where you guys had, like, it looked like the Brady Bunch almost. You had a bunch of squares and everybody's face was in a square. It was pretty funny.
Now, one more question I want to ask you before I let you go. AJ Tin's asking if anybody's watching the fight on ESPN. I am not. I'll watch it later. It's DVRing. But what are your thoughts just in general with boxing competing with itself? I mean, I know one's an app and one's on TV, but just I don't think the sport's in a position to be, airing in two different networks, competing against itself.
Well, that's a big subject that we could do an entire hangout on, as far as the state of boxing in terms of networks and coverage and everything like that. I agree with you completely as far as, DAZN having a fight on the same night as ESPN. It's just so complicated. And look, we couldn't even get on together tonight because you have to have your app going and you have to have your hangout going, and it's kind of annoying, man. Like, when it was just like HBO and Showtime and they both have a card on the same night, that was a little bit easier because you could just DVR one, and whichever one you wanted to watch more, you'd watch that live. But it's just gotten ridiculous to the point now where you need like 10 devices and, a whole bunch of technical know-how to really make it work. I'm like, I'm getting old, and like it's hard for me to keep up with all that. I wish it was just. I think personally, my preference is that live sports are on television. Television is where live stuff belongs, not on apps, not on the internet, because that's what TV is all about. And apps, I don't mind apps for like watching a movie or like Netflix or a TV series where I can just watch a bunch of things in a row that are pre-recorded and stuff like that. But the buffering and you're on 5 seconds ahead of me or I'm 5 seconds ahead of you, that to me is very annoying.
Haplotype, I do want to thank you here. My battery's at 2% here, but I do want to thank you for coming on. We made it work somehow, right? And we'll definitely get it done next time.
I appreciate you trying, and I'm glad we got to have this little discussion. Thanks, DStyle.
Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, just Haplotype0. I'm on YouTube, and that's basically my only social media presence. Just Haplotype0 on Gmail. I mean, not Gmail, on YouTube. But if you want to email me, haplotype0@gmail.com.
Definitely. All right, guys, that's Haplotype. Have a good one, bro.
All right, you have a good night.
And that is that. Right? That is that. Thanks a lot to Haplotype for coming on, despite everything, giving his thoughts. You guys can catch him on Haplotype0. Right? Look, man. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on here, but if anyone wants to give some thoughts here, something, right? This is your opportunity. If you don't have Hangouts, right? You could email me your phone number, right? I'll text you, and maybe we could do some calls here, right? Maybe not today, but just an idea for next time, maybe even, right? So if anybody wants to either want me to send you a link or some, let me know. This is your nightly reminder anyway, that this is Marquez of Queensberry Week. We are appreciating Marquez today, right? And all week, actually. I have a poll up on my channel. Go to my channel, click on DStyleBoxing. There's a poll up. Marquez best performance at lightweight. There's also Marquez appreciation video. Make sure you watch that. After you're done listening to this live or you listen on archive, go back, watch that as well. All right. Christopher Corfield joined and says, very predictable fight. I do agree with you, actually. I agree with you 100%. But you had a lot of people say, nah, it's going to be an upset. When you're talking about DStyle, you were wrong about the AJ fight, DStyle. What do you know, DStyle? Right? And what happened? The pitcher thought he could strike me out again. Did he know? I hit a home run, ladies and gentlemen. We're back at hitting home runs, right? For all those people that thought there's magic at Madison Square Garden and, oh, you don't understand, there's magic at the Garden, DStyle. I'm going to bet all my money. I'm on a roll, and I'm going to bet on rolls. Well, what happened? What happened? You lost money. Everything you won, okay, in the Ruiz fight, you lost part of it now because you got greedy, right? You got greedy, ladies and gentlemen. The house always wins no matter what. And at some point, you get luck. You got to move on. You got to just enjoy your luck, right? Look, lightning strikes once in a while. And DStyle's wrong, but don't bet on it every time. We're back to the winning circle. Look. AJ10 says the zone is to fix their camera angles. I don't trust Brian Kennedy. I agree about the camera angles. I mean, I know you'll hear me say things like, it looks like he landed that right hand, but it's hard to see. I'm just being honest with you guys. It's hard to see sometimes. That's the case with any fight you call, but it happens more with the zone than it happens with any other. Like I had virtually no problem seeing the angles in the Crawford Khan fight. The cameras need to move, man. Like you got to have like 4 or 5 camera guys in the corners, outside of the ring, overhead, whatever the case is, and you got to be able, of course, a hard camera to be able to maneuver around. Boom, switch, boom, switch. You got to have someone always on it, right? They could easily do this. Just have like a 2-3 second delay on the telecast. They can get that done. The zone has to do a better job, and I don't know because it's streaming that they have an issue with that or whatnot. But man, they got to do something about it. AJ 10's on a roll in his chat, guy. He says, "Wow, what a powerful left hook when it was blocked." Yes, and a lot of left hooks like Ibov was throwing a lot of leaping hooks on Ceballo, and I did hear the commentators getting loud. I couldn't hear them, but what I want you guys to tell me, the ones that heard the commentary as well, right? How did the zone commentary do? You tell me. I don't know. I didn't hear it. I'm done hearing this commentaries. Why are they talking about Canelo in the middle of a damn fight, man? Like, seriously. Of course, what I'm being told, right? But I'm just saying. Yeah, have cameras on people watching a fight. Well, what are they doing? Well, I mean, I think they do a split window or something like that, in fairness. I don't like the commercials, man. You're charging people $20 a month, bro, and then you're giving them commercials. Okay? Like, are you fucking shitting me? I mean, come on, dude. Now, who does that? No subscription. Like, that's stupid. That's the whole point, right? Hey, I like. Why did even though it was free? What was the main complaint about fights on network TV? They cut to commercials during the rounds, right? I want to hear the what the corner has to say, the technical aspects, this, that, and the third, right? You know, I'll admit I miss out on that when I'm doing commentary because I'm not hearing the telecast, right? That's why I got people in the chat. Let me know. But still. Boxing Dialogue makes a good point. It's only $10 a month, right? But I'm just saying. Okay, you're right now, right? Do you pay the $99 or something like that, Boxing Dialogue? I think that's $8, right? Or what do? You had it for a while, so you're grandfathered, right? I think you have the grandfathered price. DStyle doesn't have the grandfathered price, right? And I'll be honest, the only reason I have it is because I want to call the fights. That's why, right? That's the only reason I have it. I paid for the zone to call the fights for you. Right? And that's it. Anyway. You cannot hear the corner. Then what's the point then? Right? What's the point? What's the point of not like that's one of the best parts. It's one of the best parts, man. Like that's one of the best parts. Honestly, it is. This was amazing, guys. All right. I want to give a shout out to a lot of guys, man. I want to give a shout out to Chicano Prophet, who says, Oscar tweeted, nice comeback win with a thumbs up. Right? So nice comeback win with a thumbs up. So I tweeted, nice comeback win. Now fight a real fighter, win a belt, and I'll consider doing the third fight. Hashtag Canelo is your boss. Look at that. That's an aggressive. That's aggressive. Now the only problem, Oscar, is that the zone is your boss, bruh. Right? Now, even though I'm not that enthusiastic about another fight, the zone owns your ass, bruh. Okay? The zone owns you. Mr. Punch Out, who won? Triple G won. I have my pay-by play. You go check it out. But Triple G won with a upper undercut. Right? Crazy. And that's that. But then he hit him with a traditional hook, dropped him. It was a wrap. And it was a wrap for his ass, folks. Okay? Let's take a look here. There's some, man. This some. A lot of YouTubers coming on live right now talking about this fight. Unbelievable. I want to reach out to someone, man. I want to reach out to someone. Hold on. Once again, this is Marquez of Queensberry. Week. I gotta love that. Gotta love. Come on, you guys gotta love that, right? The poll, but you go to my channel, community, right? You click on my DStyleBoxing, check it out, subscribe while you're at it, hit that notification button. That way you're notified every time DStyleBoxing comes on live. But look, right? I will say this, man. I will say this. I gotta go soon, but best lightweight performance in Marquez, Michael Caceres, which I love that fight. I love the story of that fight. I love how that fight went down. Awesome. Juan Diaz War. It was the fight of the year candidate or the winner when it happened. The first fight. And then, of course, Joel Casamayor was a lineal champion. I think he was coming off a victory over Caceres, actually, as well. Great fight. Go vote. Give me your votes. I want to hear what you got to say. We'll do more polls as it progresses, all right? That's what we're going to do, folks. That's right. Juan Manuel Marquez. Boxing Dialogue says Triple G seems to have dropped the Mexican style phrase. Did he? I wonder why. The Perfection says salute, he says. And I know that's the first time he knows he's got a wrench. But he's been knighted. Sir, the Perfection. That's right. All right. Best lightweight fight versus Juan Diaz. Best performance is Caceres. Oh, that was a great fight, man. I'll give Larry Merchant credit, man. He did come up with some epic shit. And I remember him talking about the death. Was it his brother? I think it was a brother of Caceres. I could be wrong. I believe it was his brother. He was talking about Greek tradition. About they mourn for 40 days. And after 40 days, there is a celebration. And the fight happened to be occurring 40 days after the brother's death. And will there be a celebration? Will he beat the lightweight champion of the world? There's a lot of title holders, folks, and there's a lot of title fights. But nowadays, man, very rarely does something feel like a championship fight. That one just had it. When Marquez was a champ, it felt like it. There's guys that when they're the champion, you feel it. And you knew this was the best lightweight in the world. And Caceres was the challenger. I mean, you had that. It was just that traditional, here's a challenger, here's a champion. Let's get it on, man. There was a story behind that. It was the Mexican Azteca Guerrero, man. Dinamita Marquez against Michael Caceres, who would come out like a warrior himself, right? This Greek war, let me tell you something about this guy, okay? He was a Greek descent, right? I believe he was from Australia, but what he did, I mean, the Spartan helmet. Now, I don't want to give away too much on this book. We're going to be talking, we're going to be doing videos about that, okay? But great story. Great fight. AJ 10 giving props to ESPN. I got to watch that fight. But yes, the monologues were hit and miss, but he was on point on that one, man. I felt that. I was like, holy shit. Like, it just felt like, are you shitting me? Like, I don't even know if that was true or not. It just felt good. Like, holy shit. Like, Caceres is doing this for the passing of a family member. And this is tonight's going to win. He's going to become lightweight champion of the world, folks, and he's going to celebrate. Now, Caceres was never the same after that fight. Took a lot out of him, that fight. A lot of wars took a lot out of him, but man, was that some. Sometimes he did miss hard. He did. You know, these Mexican warriors, you know, I mean, sometimes they're so competitive with one another, you know, like I could eat more chili than you. I got more cojones than you. Like, what the fuck was he talking about? But anyway, with that said, guys, I'm going to call it a wrap, man. I'm gonna call it a night. I was trying to get somebody on, but they're taking too long to respond. So we'll just have to throw in the towel for that. All right. This is DStyleBoxing. And make sure you guys keep it boxing. And remember, this is Marquez, a Queensberry week for all channels out there. I promise you, you do a video, okay, for Marquez Appreciation Week. I will share that video. You got my word. Of course, you got to let me know about it, right? I don't care if you have 4 subscribers, 10 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers, whatever it is, okay? 1,000,000 subscribers, whatever you got, I will share the video, right? And just tell me how you appreciate Juan Manuel Marquez. This is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing.